one of the branches of the Torah, as everybody knows that we have a second Torah. The second Torah is the oral Torah, which is the Talmud. All these books. That's the Torah that was given orally. Because you understand that Moshe, when he went to the mountain of Sinai, he did not go to bring only 10 commandments in a tablet. He brought with him. He was there. He spent 40 days and 40 nights. When the teacher is God himself. You know when the teacher is God himself, how much time it will take you to know everything? 1 second. And yet it took him 40 days and 40 nights. What did he do 40 days and 40 nights? When the teacher himself is God who does not even sleep. You must understand that he learned that, as our sages told us. He learned there all the secrets of the universe. He learned there the Torah as a source of all the secrets of the universe in every age till the end of time. He saw your name in the Torah. He learned your identity, the day of your birth, the day of your death. He learned everything. And of course the history of the Jewish people everywhere is one after the other. You know that even Jacob, before Moses, he knew the history of the Jewish people. Everybody knows that we read in Parashat Vaychi that he gathered his children and he said to them, "Et asher yihye etchem be'acharit hayamim." Let me reveal to you what is going to be throughout the generations for the Jewish people. And then our sages said something happened. Bikesh legalot et haketz ve'ne'alam mimenu. He started to talk and he started to reveal to them things. And then suddenly it has disappeared from his mind. It was blocked. Our sages explained, here is what happened to Jacob, Yaakov Avinu. He was about to die. At that time he had the Spirit of God in him. He saw everything. He saw the future of the Jewish people. And he called them because he wanted to reveal to them the end of time. So in order to reveal to them the end of time, he had to tell them all the history of all times. So he started, which means he told them, my children, you have to know that your descendants are going to be enslaved in Egypt, in Mitzrayim. Yes. But, he said, that was a promise to Abraham, our father, that they will be freed. And they will come out from Egypt with tremendous miracles. Will come out with great riches. Very nice. And then they will go to the land of Israel. Oh, so great. And then Yehoshua bin Nun, Joshua, his famous disciple of Moshe, will lead the Jewish people in a tremendous one victory after another. And he will conquer all the land of Israel. And there will be such a wonderful time when the Jewish people will finally be established in their land, the land of their forefathers. Everyone will sit under his fig tree and his grapes and so forth. It's an expression to show that they will be happy. And then he told them, and then there is going to be Shaul HaMelech, King Shaul. There will be a time when the people of Israel will ask for a king, which was a sign already of certain degradation of the nation of Israel, because our only king is supposed to be God. He proclaimed to us that he is our king and we are his princes. But God said, if that's what they want, give them a king. So there was a prophet, and the first prophet of Israel was Shemuel, and Shemuel anointed the first king of Israel, Shaul. And Shaul will be in the beginning a very righteous king. And little by little it will go to his head and he will become sickly. And then who will take over? Will come after him? David, not his son Yehonatan, but David. And David will be the hero of Israel. And David will be glorified and beloved by all of them, by all the Jewish people. And David will bring the Jewish people to such glorious time. And then Jacob says to his children, and then for the first time, they will think about building a beautiful palace, a sanctuary for God, that we call Bet Mikdash, the first. And Jacob keeps on going in his spirit, revealing to his children all the history of the Jewish people. And he goes on telling them the greatness of King Solomon, the son of David. What an age where all the nations, where all the kings were practically jealous from the King Solomon and his wisdom, and he spoke about Bathsheba, and he spoke about Malkat Sheva, and then he spoke about the children of Shlomo. Already not anymore Shlomo. That's Rechavam. The difference is just painful between Solomon and his son Rechavam. And Rechavam already started to bring down the Jewish people in their level. And very good, but everything seems to be still okay. And then there was a succession of kings. You had the king of Achav, who brought to the Jewish people a lot of idolatry. And then after the king Achav, there were other kings. Some of them were good. Chizkiah was righteous, Chizkiah the king. There was another king, Yoshia, who was a perfect king. But there were other kings who were very bad, such as Achav, such as Achaz, such as all the names that are brought in the Bible. Little by little we are going down and down. And Yaakov is already worried. He sees the future. While the future began with a tremendous joy, little by little sadness is taking shape in the heart of Yaakov. And Yaakov says, oh my God, I see that the king of Israel, Menashe, is going to cause Yerovam first. Yerovam is going to cause the Jewish people to completely divide. And the first division, the split of the Jewish people between Yehuda and Binyamin, and then the tribes of Ephraim and all the other tribes. Where the king Yerovam was the king of Israel, the south of Israel, and the king Rechavam was the king of Judea. That was the first split. Very sad news. And then this led to other kings, and terrible things started to happen, and Yaakov started to be sad. And then he revealed to them the destruction of the first temple. In the year 586 before the Common Era, the first temple was destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. That was the first tragedy, terrible tragedy to the Jewish people since the time of Moses. But Jacob still contained himself, and he saw further in his vision that there are happier days. There are going to be happier days, because Jews are going to be in Babylon, but they will be very prosperous. There will be ages of tremendous wisdom by the sages. There will be the sages of the Mishnah, the sages of the Gemara, and so forth, up to the second temple when Christianity begins. And that's when Yaakov, our father, became very startled, but again he regained himself. He said, wait, there is better times coming. There will be a Shas, a Talmud. Wonderful. That's enough to continue. And he goes on up to perhaps the time of 1,000 years ago, when he told them about the Rambam. Such great luminary will come to the Jewish people. And then he goes on, he will tell them about Rashi, the great luminary of Israel, of the Jewish people, the great commentator on the Torah. And then the great sages, the Rashba, the Ritba, the Rif, Rabbi Yitzchak El-Fassi, all the great names, until he came to 1492. The expulsion of the Jews from Spain. A terrible thing for Yaakov, for our father Jacob to contain. He was already starting to feel bad. But he goes on. He saw some other generations that are beautiful, up to the Vilna Gaon 250 years ago, and the Bet Yosef 450 years ago, and the Arya Kadosh, great times, until he arrived to our age. And our age with the Holocaust. When he saw that 6 million Jews passed away, he became so sad that he lost his vision. Because our sages said in the Talmud in Masechet Shabbat on page 31, it says there, En hashchina shora ela mitoch simcha. The divine presence dwells in you only if you are in a state of happiness. When Jacob was full of happiness, when he started to reveal the great revelations to his children. But when he came finally to the last generation, before the Mashiach, whatever, Acharit Hayamim, the last days of the world, these are these days. And he said to them, there is going to be a Holocaust. 6 million Jews are going to be murdered in such a horrible, atrocious way. He became so sad that he lost the vision. And that's what our sages meant by saying, ביקש לגלות את הקץ ונעלם ממנו. He wanted to reveal exactly the end of time when the Mashiach comes, and this was completely blocked off from him. Why? Because of the sadness that he felt. So you see that our forefathers knew a lot about the future. So you might say, well, that's what you say, Rabbi Benhaim. Who knows? Are we going to check what you say?